escape from this rut that he's in, where everyone around looks for something to skim. It's the same old same, but there must be a win, and he can't stop ignoring all this hunger within. With each day that passes, the seal is more broken, plus the intensity's getting more potent, overflowing with emotions, and he has no way to show them. Plus he has nowhere to store them, and the load is only growing. So he stepped to the stage with his weapon and aim. Get it? A fresh page full of venom and rage. Let it empty and drain all the stress and the pain. Set it, pumping the strain through his head and his veins. Medic, gotta grow, so he's giving away. Finally found a channel and is ready to play, delivering the man to stand before you today with the regular expression that he's wanted to say. One statement, no questions. Put your fist up for your regular expressions. One statement, no questions. Put your fist up for your regular expressions. Armed with his energy, it's battle again. Equipped all his items with a pad and his pen. Got a long storied road with a path to descend, cause perfect's only worth it if you practice to win. Finding only lyrics and relieving the charge. The feelings start receding, still believing it's large. Hands on deck, but he's keeping his cards, cause he blasted into orbit if he reached for the stars. Insults, doubt, blame, he's feeling his scars, and now they're all compounding like there's evil at large. Every line so cathartic when he's screaming these bars, with the force to be reckoned, put the people in charge. Came to understand it's about what he shares when he needs it, like we breathe it coming out of the air. From the stage when he sees, in the crowd when he stares, it's a sea full of people with their fists in the air. One statement, no questions. Put your fist up for your regular expressions. One statement, no questions. Put your fist up for your regular expressions.
The only way to level 20 is ascension. Addicted to the internet, yeah, I need an intervention. Displace any class or race. Scorch ports with my lyrical mace. Breath of fire from the nerd rap side. Changing to the guard like you change a spare tire. The mic handheld like a PC tablet. Sword on a cord every time I grab it or grep it. Flag my debugged and wreck it. The Gallagher smash on ships. Liver bonus points I mash on chicks. Atlantic City to Seattle, first class trips. I done spit the schematics, so please don't panic. RDP from my box and you seen I ran it. Ain't a thing they could do about that, cause I'm all about the backdoor, long-term hack, yeah. See me on your subnet mask. Know that I defeat any block of class. Untouchable, like Kevin Costner. Be afraid when you see me on the roster. Streamline code and I'm always on the road. The feds can't chase what they can't see though. I'm untouchable, see that, fear my greatness.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Hey, welcome back to my live stream. If you don't know who I am, Let me turn up the lights a little bit. My name is Tyler. I'm a pen tester by day and hang out and make content occasionally at night on Twitch, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So first, let me just let you know that I am live on 3 different platforms. You can join on whichever platform works best for you. I do my best to keep my eye on chat on all of them, but I am live right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. On YouTube and LinkedIn, I just stream under my name, Tyler Ramsbey. And over on Twitch, I stream under the name Hack_Smarter. So YouTube and LinkedIn is Tyler Ramsbey. Twitch is Hack_Smarter. My primary channel is YouTube. That's where you can find, I think I'm at like 540 some standalone videos all about pen testing, careers, cybersecurity, and even some blue team content. So if you do not sub to me on YouTube, you should. And also, for those of you who are here, you may know that for like a week straight, I was streaming nearly every single night as I was finishing up my intro, not finishing, literally creating my intro to AWS pen testing course. And we finished that on Monday night because I took last night off. So we finished that on Monday night, which is amazing. So that course is done. Like I said before, it's going through beta testing right now. It will release on May 12th for $20. That will provide you with lifetime access. But hey, before I keep going, let me pull up chat. Let's see who is all here. We got S versus J face-off, the one and only stopwatch checking in for chat. We got It's Me CCK. We got Zero Cool. We got Fix It 42 up late again. We got Jake St. Peter saying, hack the planet. Heck yeah. Nox Lumens passed the SOC exam. I think when you say that SOC exam, you were taking the one through TCM, right? And congratulations. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Was it good? Was it bad? Would love to know. What up, Robin Greer? What up, Bolt? In here early, we got Woo is 007, or Who is 007. There we go. Let me scroll through. We got Sank Logic checking in. We got CH that actually caught one live for once. You did. You did catch it live. What is up, Alex? What up, Neffos? What up, John Doe? What up, Adam Clemens from Tokyo? Yo, crazy. That's amazing. We got Chalumi saying, I'm just a network guy, but I always find your videos interesting. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, well, hopefully you guys are having a good night. Anything else new in your world? I know we can celebrate Nox Lumens knocking out that start. Anyone else have something exciting you can share? And I also just realized chat is broken again. Freaking restream, guys. Let me fix chat so you guys can see chat up on the screen. Give me just a second. I don't know why restream is trash like that. Like, why do I pay money to restream when they can't even do the job right? Am I right? All right, here, let me fix this real quick. It's so odd because like the link doesn't update, but I have to delete the link out of OBS and re-add it, and then it pulls chat back up. Let's see if that fixes it. There we go. What is up, Hamza? Said I got Ansible up and running in my home lab, so I'll take that as a win. That is a win. Hey, congratulations. That's awesome. Do you plan on doing anything fun with it? Or like, what is the purpose of spinning it up in your home lab? Just to learn it better? S vs. J says, so it's very cloudy and rainy today in South Korea. You know, I personally like those days. I went to Seattle, which you may not know, like the climate of Seattle since you live in South Korea, but Seattle's like notorious for having rainy days. I went there with my wife last summer. That's where I work. The main office is in Seattle, and I loved it. It was like rainy most of the days, overcast, but I love that kind of weather personally. Hey Tyler, is it okay if I ask a question? You just asked one. You don't get to ask another one. Just kidding. Yeah, ask any questions you want. What up? I'm Dreda. I apologize for probably not saying that right, but good to have you checking in over in the LinkedIn world. Okay, that's awesome, Chalumi. Well, you should start making your own YouTube videos about it. You already got it all, the home lab set up. That's the thing, guys. I always encourage people, start a YouTube channel, start a Twitch channel. You don't have to do anything novel. Just showcase what you're already doing. Like set up a home lab, set up Ansible, but stream yourself doing it. Stream yourself troubleshooting. People love just to watch and learn with you. What up, Hoi Minoi? Neffel says, I lived in Seattle for a while, but the rain at a certain point loses its effect. I'm sure it does. I'm sure once you have enough days without the sun, it gets a little bit depressing. The crazy thing, and Neffels, you probably know all about this if you lived in Seattle, but when I was in Seattle, I did that like underground tour in the, I'm trying to think of what the old part of Seattle called, Pioneer Town or something crazy like that. But I did the underground tour, and I saw the whole history of how Seattle was actually way lower, but it always flooded with flood water and essentially feces, and they built on top of that. But you can go underneath Seattle and see the original Seattle. Like that was so cool. That blew my mind. Nox Loomis says, it was easy, but I think that's more a testament to the course itself. It's the first offensive course I've been through and covered a vast amount of content. I'd say excellent for offense learners too. That is awesome. I will have to check it out. That's created by my friend over there at TCM. Hello from Serbia. Yo, amazing as well. Good to have you here. South Korea's gone back to landlines. If it is cloudy and rainy, you can keep hacking. Exactly. Quite happy for the rainy weather here. Lately, it gets rid of some of the pollen spring allergies. Yeah, I'm sure. It's we're finally in spring where I live. I live in rural South Dakota, and like where I live, it's very cheap cost of living, but for good reason. In the wintertime, we get a crazy amount of snow. At least we usually do. This winter, we got almost no snow, but usually a crazy amount of snow. We'll have days where it is negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can do the translation to Celsius, but that's like without the wind. You add the wind chill, I kid you not, in South Dakota in the winter, we'll have days where it's negative 40 or feels like negative 50. And they say if you have exposed skin for like 5 minutes, you will get frostbite. So like the wind and the cold try to kill you in the winter, and then our summers get very humid, right? So it'll be 80, 90 degrees, but high humidity, just suffocating. We have like 2 months of the entire year that are livable in the spring for like a month and before it gets really hot, and then in the fall before it starts snowing. So where I live, very cheap cost of living, but mainly because you don't want to live here for a good reason. Yeah, negative 20 Fahrenheit, S vs. J. Exactly right, here in South Dakota. It's called South Dakota, right? But we're not in the southern United States. If you look up on a state of the United States, South Dakota, you'll see that I'm on the northern edge right by Minnesota, and then it goes South Dakota, North Dakota, and then Canada. So I'm right there on the northern part of the United States. Yo, Nox Lumens, I don't know if you've already told Malware Q, but you should. He's such a genuinely nice person. I love watching his TCM streams. Cold International Falls. I bet. Love the rain. Me too, dude. Okay, here's Alex's question. The company I work at opens the internal pen testing position from time to time. I only recently got the COT cert. What's the COT cert? Hold up. I don't know what a COT cert is. Oh, CPTS. Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense. All right. I only recently got the CPTS cert, so I've not applied yet. Should I wait until they open it again or apply externally? Oh, I see. So first, Alex, I'm just curious. When you say, this will be helpful for anybody watching this. When it comes to careers in pen testing, there's two different kinds of pen testing. You have an internal pen tester. If you're an internal pen tester, you work for one company. Like you serve as a red teamer or a pen tester for that one company, and you test apps. You're hired by that company. The other side of pen testing, which is what I do, is consultancy, where I work with companies all over the United States, sometimes around the world, and I hack their stuff, and I work with a different company almost every week, depending on the length of the engagement. When you say internal pen testing position, do you mean it's a consultancy position, but they open it to internal employees occasionally, or it's an internal pen testing team? I don't know what you mean by that. That doesn't really change the issue. But what I would say is yes, apply. Absolutely. Because a few different things. The worst they can say is no. Always apply, right? The worst they can say is no. But second, the CPTS is a crazy hard cert. Like, bruh or girl, I don't know if your gender, but if you have the CPTS cert, you are already more skilled than the majority of associate or junior pen testers. So apply and make sure you highlight that. Heck, you can clip this video and send it to him. This guy says I'm more skilled. Scroll up. I'm preparing for that exam. Knox next month. Oh, cool. Sync's going to go through that. Malware Cube's an OG of our streams. He hangs out in streams occasionally, but he used to hang out here back when he was part of TryHackMe. I used to work through some of his rooms when he was on the TryHackMe team. Now he's at TCM. Really cool, dude. Corrupted my system, so I need a USB drive to fix it. That is rough. That's all part of the joy, right? Everyone's still having issues with the APT after swapping the key signature. I haven't swapped my key signature because YOLO. I don't think they have unfrozen things yet. Maybe they have. I just will keep using it till it breaks and I'll swap it. Shooter McGav said, still getting really good at CTFs. Help me become a pen tester. Oh, sorry. Will getting really good at CTFs. Help me become a pen tester. For the most part. That'll help you understand the tooling. And that's a video people keep asking me to make, is what's the difference between a CTF and a penetration test? I need to think through that video a little bit better. But here would be a TLDR version of it. When you are doing a penetration test, first, when you're doing a CTF, generally the end goal is to get RCE. You get RCE through like a file upload, you get a shell on the system, you stabilize your shell, you get the user flag, then you work on privilege escalation until you get the root flag. Doing a traditional penetration test is quite a bit different than that, because in a CTF, you're only looking for those very critical bugs, and most pen tests that you do, you're not going to get RCE. I mean, I've been pen testing for not quite 3 years, but around that. And I've had one time on a web app pen test that I was able to bypass some file upload stuff and get a full shell on the system. I've been able to get RCE in some other ways, but that's the first time it felt like a CTF. But doing a pen test, you're looking for all kinds of things, like having session cookies without the right flag set, like version information. If you hit the website and it returns an HTTP response, the server version, it may not be directly exploitable, but that could be used as enumeration for an attacker. So like a pen test is a much more holistic overview of the vulnerabilities. So getting good at CTFs will help you get comfortable with tools and troubleshooting and thinking outside the box, but you still might feel a little bit lost in your first pen test just because it is a more holistic approach to an application. Will you try the new TryHackMe room? You guys want me to? I don't know if I want to. I saw a lot of people being tripped up about that. I only know that because I received multiple DMs asking me what the answers were, how to solve the room. And I'm like, I don't even know what you people are talking about. I'm making my AWS course. I'm not doing TryHackMe right now. But I had, I don't even know how many messages. And I got tagged on Discord a few times of people saying like, yo, Tyler, how do you solve this TryHackMe machine? I'm like, I don't freaking know. I haven't even looked at it. So I think a lot of people got stuck on it. It might be fun just to dive in, YOLO it. I'm working on my CCNA, taking a course at my CC. It ends around December. Should I just wrap that up before jumping to security? Yeah, wrap it up. That's good. Having a solid fundamental in networking is huge before security. Oh, Mobius, there's a new one that opened 10 hours ago. So I think TryHackMe drops their challenge machines on Friday. So I don't know what the new one is, but I'm guessing it's not a challenge machine. Every Friday is when they drop their challenge machines. But yeah, Mobius is the one everybody's been pinging me about, which I have a feeling I'll just get stuck and frustrated, but we can still do it. But guys, here's the plan. I do want to review TryHackMe's Azure path. Here, I'll explain a little more. TryHackMe offers cloud training. If you weren't aware of that, let me log in. I'll show it to you. All right, so TryHackMe offers cloud training, but it's pretty expensive. What are my notifications? Oh, I'm heading back to the Silver League. I got promoted to the Gold League. Now I'm back to the Silver League. Oh, well. Anyways, TryHackMe has cloud training. The thing that's tough about it is I don't think it's cheap. I don't actually know what it costs, though. No, you don't need... Okay, here we go. Is this accurate? Does anyone know? $375 for their cloud training. Here, let me see if I can find this information. Unless you guys know in chat. Okay. But then you need a business license. Entra ID. All right. Where's my phone and why is it going off? Let's check this, y'all. All right. Anyways, they have cloud training. I've covered most of their AWS pen testing path. I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel. I don't know what this is in USD. Okay, so we're looking at about $440 to get access for 3 months. That's actually pretty dang pricey. Oh, I can change the price. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, it's only $375. I mean, only. That's still really expensive. So it's not cheap. But I think if you pay this price, it gives you access to their AWS path and their Microsoft Azure path. Now, the reason for that price is it's not cheap, right, to host these things, but that is a little bit steep. Anyways, what I wanted to do was give my thoughts on the Azure path. I already made a whole bunch of videos on the AWS path, and I'm not going to do a whole series on it. But one cool thing I have going for me, this goes back to, was it January of this year? I made a video on, hey, which one is better, TryHackMe or Hack the Box? And I said the biggest weakness of TryHackMe is a lot of the challenge machines are very CTF-y and not realistic. And I don't want to do silly steganography because it has nothing to do with my job as a pen tester. And, you know, I was pretty critical. Although I love TryHackMe, I was quite critical of some of those things. And then TryHackMe reached out to me and they were like, hey, do you want to be part of our UAT team, our user acceptance training testing team? Which means when new challenge rooms are submitted or ideas are proposed, I'm part of a small team that goes through all of those rooms now and it says, hey, this one's a good one, but all of these, like, you should reject them. They're not realistic. They're not real world. They're silly. And so I'm part of that team now, which is awesome. It's volunteer. I don't get paid for it, but I get access to all of the cloud training. Like, I have a special business license, but I don't have to pay for TryHackMe anymore. Like, my sub is free. Not only is my sub free, but I get access to all the cloud training for free. I'm not restricted to 3 months, so I've been working through it. I went through all the attacking, defending AWS, so I'm back when I did have to pay for it. I think I set up a business plan back then. Like, I found enough people to make a business plan with me, and we all chipped in. But I got access to the defending Azure pass, so I've been working there. You can see I'm 88% of the way through it. So. And Steven Upshaw, yo, what is up, Steven? So I asked Steven to let me know his thoughts on this path because he recently went through it. And first, Steven, can I ask you a question? I'm going to put you on the spot, but now that you're in chat, what do you think about this price? The price seems steep to me for 3 months of access, but I know you went through it. Was the price worth it? I'm actually going to get LinkedIn pulled up so I can get your comments here. And then we'll make this video, but I want to make a quick video overview of this, and I want to showcase one of the challenges from the room, or from the path. All right, here we go. I found your post. I want to get that pulled up. So here is Steven Upshaw. If you guys see him over in chat, he's like one of the top players on TryHackMe. Let me show you his thoughts real quick. If I can go back. All right, so gosh, I got to fix the chat on this one too, don't I? Here, let me fix the chat when I'm sharing my screen real quick. Stupid restream, bro. All right, chat. Yep, it's definitely broken. All right, it should be fixed now. First, let me just show you guys this. People are often bugging me like, Tyler, why don't you accept my connection request? If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you got to shoot me a DM on Discord with your LinkedIn information. I'll show you why. If I click my network, I have 3,000 some invitations. I try to keep up with this, but way too many invitations, way too many messages. I cannot keep up with LinkedIn. So I apologize if I have a connection request and you're waiting for me to accept it. But this is what Steven said. His review of the Defending Azure Learning Path. Let's scroll through. So here's what he liked. Practical, realistic scenarios, different attack patterns, and it's cool. I'm going to show you this actually hands-on how it all works, but it's pretty cool. Coverage of Azure security services, some of those main ones, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, Entra, all that good stuff. Focus on detection and response. Guided KQL training, my favorite. I don't know how that's your favorite, dude. That was my least favorite, but congrats to you. What could be improved? More advanced labs. I agree. Add more threat intelligence integration, integrating MDTI or encrypted MITRE attack. That's a good call. The Defending Azure Learning Path in TryHackMe is an exceptional training experience for those looking to build or solidify their skills in Azure cloud defense. Whether they're preparing for their own SOC, working toward Microsoft Search, or simply want to improve your incident response playbook in Azure, it offers practical immersive learning. I suggest recreating the final challenge, Azure Can You GA. After spending 10 hours blue teaming, the final challenge abruptly switched gears. I agree, and dude, I was pretty lost on that challenge. Let me switch back over to here. So there is a red team challenge at the very end after they spend the whole thing talking about blue team, and I hacked the challenge on accident. So when I was trying to do initial enumeration, I found the global admin flag as the lowest privilege user without having to do anything. So I just enumerated and found the final flag and then reverse worked my way from there. I reported to TryHackMe though, and I believe they fixed it now. So you can no longer exploit it the way I did, but I was able to get the global admin flag as the lowest privilege user because that's just clearly how great of a hacker I am. But okay, let me look at this now. Steven said, I know how expensive cloud cost and licensing can be, so it's reasonable for having a structured learning path and access to the Azure cloud environment. Yeah, it's a good call. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm going to get a drink of water. I am going to record, so I'm going to turn off chat just while I'm recording, guys. But this isn't like my course. I'm going to probably edit this video a little bit, so it's not going to be all... there's some freedom here. Hey, Tyler, it's Obliviated from Discord. Hope your night is going good. It is. Hope yours is too. Trying to get back into Hack the Box machines and study more. It took a way longer break, months, and needed to get back into it. Was getting a little burnt out. Well, first of all, congratulations on recognizing you were getting burnt out. It's always good to take a break. The boxes will always still be there. So just slowly ease yourself back into it. Be active on Discord, right? Like join the CTF team. That's some motivation to help it feel a little more fun. All right. I just shook my whole desk. Look at that. I'm shaking. It's an earthquake. I'm far too easily entertained. All right, here we go. Well, hey everyone, in this video, I want to provide you with my honest feedback and an overview of the Defending Azure path over on TryHackMe. This is a path that requires an additional subscription compared to the regular TryHackMe sub, and I'll just be upfront with you, it is not cheap. It's not really that affordable depending on who you are. I don't like that intro. Let me start over. We're gonna redo that one. Here we go. Let me try it again. Well, hey everyone. In this video, I want to provide you with an overview with my honest thoughts on the Defending Azure path over on TryHackMe. This is their Azure path, part of their cloud training license, and the first thing you're going to notice is this is not cheap. This is in addition to a regular TryHackMe license. If you have a regular TryHackMe subscription, the Azure and AWS paths are not included. Now, if you want to know about the AWS path, I have an entire playlist on my YouTube page where I work through the entire path, video for every single room on that. And I just want to say thank you to TryHackMe. They gave me permission to do that. I didn't think they would, but when the AWS path released, I said, yo, can I live stream all of it? Fully expecting them to say no, and they're like, yeah, go ahead. So you can find that on my YouTube channel if you want to get a feel for what their AWS path is like. But I also have access to their Azure path because I am part of the UAT team over on TryHackMe. What that means is I'm a volunteer, but I'm part of a small group of people that when new challenge rooms are submitted, we review the challenge rooms. And my goal is to make sure the rooms that get approved on TryHackMe are realistic. One of the feedback I've been very blunt about to TryHackMe in the past is that some of the challenge rooms are CTF-y. They are nothing like what I see in the real world as a pen tester, so I'm part of that UAT team to review some of those rooms before they get released to the public. But as part of that, one advantage I have is I get access to all of the business stuff on TryHackMe for free, but not really for free because I'm volunteering my time, but I do have access to the Defending Azure path. So in this video, I want to give you an overview of the path, and then we're also going to work through a snapshot of one of the challenges so you can see what the path is actually like and how they spin up these Azure environments for us to dig into. So without any further ado, let's just walk through this together. The first thing I do want to be upfront with is the price right here. To get access to their cloud training, it's going to cost $375 USD for 3 months of access. Now, that's definitely a little bit on the steep side. The reasoning for that is just because of what licensing and spinning up cloud environments for all these different people can end up costing, and TryHackMe does, as a business, still need to make a profit from it as well. But let me just be upfront and say, yes, I too recognize that this price is steep, and it's something you really have to wrestle with. The other side of it that might be worth pursuing is TryHackMe has business plans. Now, I got a business plan back in the day in a very ghetto way. I don't even know if it's allowed anymore, but I wanted access to the AWS path, which back when it released, it was only available to business plans. But to have a business plan, you needed like 5 or 6 seats. So I got like 5 or 6 people from Discord. We all chipped in a bunch of money and we purchased a business plan for Hack Smarter. And we made the Hack Smarter business so that we could then get access to the AWS path. But if your employer, or if you have an employer, which many of you probably do, and you work in cybersecurity, it's worth at least having a conversation about getting access to a TryHackMe business plan, because then you will get access to the Azure and the AWS path, and you won't have to pay for it out of your own pocket. And it's a little more affordable that way. But just want to be upfront. 3 months of access, you are looking at $375. And the reason I want to showcase this path is so you can answer the question yourself, hey, is this price actually worth it based on what's in the path? So let me go ahead and show you this path now. Here is the Defending Azure path. You can see I'm not fully done with it, but I've completed 88% of it, which I think is pretty good. And let's walk through everything that it covers. I'll zoom in so you can see it okay. It says in this path, you'll dive deep into Microsoft Azure security. And that's the big thing I want to point out to you. This path is very much a blue team path. There is a red team challenge at the end, which feels a little bit out of place, but it's there. And I also want to encourage you to check out Stephen Upshaw. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, my friend. I'm pulling it up on LinkedIn. Yes, Stephen Upshaw. He's one of the top players on TryHackMe. He did a very good review about this on LinkedIn. I will drop a link to his LinkedIn review in the description of this video. If for some reason it's not there when you watch this video, it's because I forgot. Let me know in the comment. I'll drop the link there. But he did a very good review from his perspective of someone who worked through it. But it is all about blue team stuff. So if you do Microsoft Azure security, if you do blue team, if you're in a SOC, I think you'll really enjoy this pathway. You'll get hands-on with Microsoft Sentinel and Defender, focusing on threat detection, incident response, vulnerability management, etc., etc. And it is a mix of both theory and hands-on labs. But here's the cool thing about it. Generally, if you want to learn cloud pen testing, whether it's Azure or AWS or cloud defending, you need to create your own Azure lab environment. Now, with that can come with some considerable cost if you don't set it up the right way. The beauty of this path on TryHackMe is you don't have to spin up anything. They spin up an entire Azure tenant with all the licenses needed for you to get hands-on with these pretty cool tools, especially in the blue team side of things, and they're a lot of fun to work with. Let me scroll through and we can go ahead and dive into one of these. I'm going to go ahead and enroll in the path. And I'll show you everything that it covers real quick. So it begins by talking about Microsoft Sentinel and just some basics of how it works, how to ingest data. Once again, very basics, not super exciting stuff, but still good things to be aware of. Then we get to the KQL, which Stephen Upshaw, he must be crazy. So I apologize, Stephen. He said the KQL was his favorite part of the path. The KQL was my least favorite part of the path. Now, KQL is Custo Query Language. It allows you to do some pretty in-depth queries while you're doing threat hunting or incident response. But here's why I personally didn't like the KQL stuff. It's just like a lot of explaining, here's how you run these queries. It's like a long page of all these different queries. And then at the very end, you run a few of the queries. But it was just long. It was hard for me to concentrate because it was the same thing for a bunch of different rooms. So for me, it was a grind to work through the KQL rooms. Now, I enjoyed it. I learned stuff, but it was also a grind. Now, Steven, on the other hand, said this was his favorite part. So maybe this will be your favorite part as well, but that's my thoughts on that first part. We have Microsoft Defender XDR. You can see this is the path that I haven't done so far, but this one has been quite a bit of fun on the XDR side of things, doing a little more with threat hunting type things. The only rooms I have left are these two right here, and then I'll be completely done with the Defending Azure path. But we have the lateral movement and execution, and then finally we have the Azure security challenges, and you can see I completed both of those. This one just seemed out of place. So this is my feedback to TryHackMe. This Azure Can You GA, Azure Challenge for Cloud Pentesters, find the attack path and escalate to global admin. On paper, it sounds cool, but for people going through this path, unless I missed it, there's literally nothing in this path that actually teaches you Azure red teaming or Azure pen testing in that way. So that one was just a little bit out of place. I did complete it. I learned something. I learned quite a few things going through it, but I know for a lot of people that might throw them off. The other one, though, is this Microsoft Sentinel Just Looking challenge. And I want to actually showcase a little bit of this challenge. Let's go ahead and open it up. And I'm going to reset my progress in the room so I don't reveal all of the flags. Let's go ahead and reset our progress, and I'll show you one of the challenges from this room. So first, we have to deploy the cloud environment. Now, remember, I told you they do all of this for you in their own Azure tenant. So if I click Cloud Details right here, I can go ahead and click Join Lab to join the lab. We'll give it a second to spin up the Azure lab environment. All right, there we go. So here is our scenario. You are a SOC analyst or a SIEM practitioner or maybe a cloud security engineer. Or you're a streamer, right? Either one works. What we know is incidents have been firing in Microsoft Sentinel and you are called to the task. Can you handle these incidents? So we need to join the lab, which I just did. We're going to log into the Azure portal and we're going to open up the lab and we're going to dive into this stuff. Now it takes a little bit for everything to launch. Let me go to Cloud Details again. Do we have to ingest logs? There's a specific way you need to do each one of these, so I need to follow that process. But for the beauty of video editing, I'll speed you guys up to when all the logs are ingested. If you go through this room on your own, you can follow all the steps, but I won't bore you in this detail. We'll get everything spun up, and then we'll dive into the incident investigation. So, note to Tyler in the future, this is where you can do some video editing. And I'll keep my eye on chat as well. Would love to get your guys' thoughts so far while I spin things up here. I'm trying to remember what I all need to do to access this. So let me go ahead and get logged into this real quick. Zoom out. And I'll grab this. Paste it in. Grab password. Paste it in. Okay, so go and join the lab, log in with lab credentials, cloud details, copy credentials, open lab. Should be named blah, 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 blah. Navigate to the lab resource group, which will be empty. We'll deploy lab asset shortly. So I want to go ahead and make sure this is there. Pull this over to its new tab. I don't want to get blah, blah. All right, so what we need to do is navigate to resource groups. Yeah, you're right. I think there was some Azure in Advent of Cyber 2024. All right, so our resource group is there. That's good. We'll deploy lab challenge logs, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's the important part. I mean, only if you actually go through this room. But we have to click ingest logs. Please do not click deploy rules button yet, as it may result in an error. All right. Actions, ingest logs. Hey, Jake St. Peter. YouTube should be in 1080 HD. So you can check that. But to be honest, the best platform for watching live streams is Twitch. So I just dropped a link to my Twitch. Oh, I can't type. Come over to Twitch. Twitch has the best quality when it comes to live streaming, in my opinion. All right, we got this part launched. What do I have to do next? This will deploy log analytics, onboard Microsoft Sentinel, ingest logs in the workplace. Log ingestion will take around 3 minutes to complete. You can review the deployment progress before starting the challenge. Confirm logs have been ingested. You know where to find log tables, right? Of course you do. Okay, I want to do one of these incidents. When do I deploy the other things? Deploy rules here. Okay. Once you confirm challenge logs are ingested, we now need to create the detection mechanism to fire up the incidents, which will be used in this challenge. The detection method is no other than our good old analytic rules. Okay, cool. Well, I'll give this a few minutes. Let me scroll up. Am I missing anything in chat? Curious your guys' thoughts on all of this. Scroll up. Scroll. What up, Mary Ellen Kendall? Good to have you here. Hey, I've been focusing my learning on Python recently. I'm interested in cybersecurity. I've been looking at becoming a security analyst or doing SOC Level 1 work. Does this sound like a good plan? Yes, it sounds like a great plan. The price tag is too crazy and I ain't going to buy it, says S vs. J face off. Totally reasonable. Oh, Nito's going through this path right now. Nito, what do you think about the price tag and about what you get for the price? Worth it or not worth it? Let me know in chat. Gregory said, excited for your AWS class, and me too. May 12th, unlike this, it will not be $300. My AWS learning path will be $20 for lifetime access. So, hey, what do you have to lose? Sang said, I'm in a cyber range, it's $99, and I get access to Sentinel, MDE, and I can create VMs. We have a SOC and simulate attacks and investigate them as a course as well as threat hunting, not advertising. Dude, drop a link. What cyber range? What platform? Tell us what it is. Oh, 9 minutes into S vs. J. I don't need a stopwatch as much for these videos, but still appreciate it. That was very much for the course. I had to get things down under a certain time. When I'm doing my regular live streams and just making videos like this, there's a lot more freedom. Just kind of chill. Oh, thank you, Fixer, for dropping the Azure stuff on Advent of Cyber. Hey, thank you, Rabbit. I appreciate it. What up, Naresh? Which path we talking about? Sorry, Asmita. We're going through the defending Azure path. Just giving a showcase of it real quick. When will the Azure course be done? Soon, maybe. In my opinion, Cyber might be more affordable. Cyber's way more affordable, although Cyber doesn't offer Azure. Yeah, so my course, Sock Knock, will be $20 for lifetime access. No strings attached, no sub required. It'll be over on Simply Cyber Academy. Bro, I want to serve as a SOC analyst for a company that's for 2-3 experiences. Help me. Go check out TCM's Academy and their SOC stuff. You're making one. I will eventually make a pentesting Azure path, yeah. I just haven't done as much Azure pentesting as I've done AWS, so I don't think I'm qualified to make a course yet. I just need a little more experience on pentesting Azure. Dawson's still doing CVE hunting. Go for it. As of now, CVE still exists, right? All right, let's see if we can see if our logs are being ingested. So I need to go to log analytics real quick. Is that where I was at? Are my logs here? Get out of here, query sub. Okay, cool. We do have some logs. Let's make sure they're actually here. If I just click one of these. Well, they're not showing up. Screw it. We're just going to see if I can get this to work. If it doesn't, then whatever. I'm just not going to make a video on it. I don't feel like wasting a bunch of time. We'll try to deploy rules and see if I can at least investigate one of the incidents. The tables are there, so I think we're good. I wonder how long it takes for these to deploy. I did this room quite a while ago, but... Just joined Twitch. The screen res is awesome. Exactly. Twitch is the best spot to watch live streams. Here, I'll answer a few more questions while we wait for these rules to deploy. Hey, bro, do you do bug hunting? I mean, I'm a pen tester, so I do bug hunting when companies hire me, but I don't do bug bounty very often. Cloud or AD, what do you think one should focus on based on current trend? Both. If you want to be a pen tester, there's a lot of AD pen tests and a lot of cloud pen tests. Both are popular. Crypto Go said, I am lucky on the blue team stuff as I'm currently a blue teamer, so I have access to all these tools in my day job, but currently transitioning to red team. Oh, awesome. Dude, your experience as a blue teamer is going to be amazing when you become a pen tester or red teamer. Oh, thank you, SyncLogic, for sharing that. I'll have to check that out. Let's wing it and see how it goes. This is how I do most of my videos. I do just wing it. Like, I haven't planned this, obviously, as you guys can tell. I went through this room, but it was quite a while ago. I don't remember the details, so I'm going to show you me working through it live. Oh, my goodness. It might take 10 to 15 minutes for incidents to appear after having deployed the rules. Are you serious? That's not very conducive for a live stream, bruh. Brutal. Well, we're going to go see if they show up yet. Frick. None are found. I'm not going to wait 15 minutes for this. Let me think about this for a second. There's a different challenge I can showcase, but this is my favorite challenge, since it was actually a challenge room. I'm already enrolled in the path. Do you guys think it'll really take 15 minutes? The beauty of live streaming. So we have the rules here. So the rules are here successfully. and we can look at those. But the incidents are not loaded yet. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Normally on THM, it's 3 to 5 minutes. You're right, and it's like ready in 60 seconds. Let's just take a 5-minute break. And we'll come back in 5 minutes, and hopefully they're done. I'll find some music for us to listen to, and then we'll take a 5-minute break. It's been almost an hour, so good time to take a break, right? Let's see what we got.
So this started last year. We were playing B-sides.
Yeah, this works for me. All right, guys, 5-minute break. I'll be back.
Virus from DC949 said to me, hey, drink all the booze, hack all the things. That's how we're doing it this year.
Not every geek with a Commodore 64 can hack into NASA.
This one's dedicated to all the hackers. Yo. Even out, settle scores quick. My disaster recovery requires even more discs. Put your bytes up, prove it or you forfeit. Got my C64 and we blew it into orbit. M Bison with 8 straight perfects. Overrolled emotions make hate break circuits. In case you heard, it's a named fake service. Optimize our runtime to escape verdicts. Got an integer scope flow that they can't sign. Passing code, didn't sanitize command lines, landmine. So before they'll see me after, I'm advice star, courage, roll plus velociraptor. Don't prove we're human unless we really have to. My team built schemes and destroy, recapture. Hate what they see. Finish this chapter. By the way, we're not any geeks, we hack into NASA. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. I'm just waiting till my BlackBerry dies, cause I'll replace it with the Raspberry Pi. Don't compare to this track, it makes everything they said dull. Neutralize any threat, turn Red Skull to Dev Null. They killed virus writers that we mentioned, but instead they ascended to the VX heavens, then reincarnate as live wires. Still inside we hide ciphers and sign device drivers. Which school will we hit next? They didn't learn the format, so we've got a print F. Next step is a chin check. Freestyles that I spit best, they didn't decrypt yet. I crush internet MCs and rhyme battles. Get your Wi-Fi tackled, hacked by pineapple. I don't think you'll like my Snapple, cause I popped it with vodka in a cyanide capsule. We drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things.
You know there's gonna be security, right?
First we drink all the booze, then hack all the things. Then backdoor the firmware on anything you bring, regardless of the hardware, service or encoding. Connected to the internet and someone's gonna own it. This is for the pirates that clap and love the sound. Attacking from the cloud, then we're backing underground. There's no masking from us now. We pop Tor nodes around the globe, track and hunt you down. Hacked on schedule, add it to your calendar. Devices online, here comes another challenger. State infiltrated, so undercover. This is for my comrades who stare at the debuggers and trace every buffer. Examining the code flow, haven't been to sleep, better pop another no-dose. I think I'll need a planet-sized urn, cause some men just wanna watch the world burn. Your turn.
We stay out of jail.
Technologically possible, yeah.
Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring.
I mean, these servers have more firewalls than the devil's bedroom.
Hack all the things.
Yeah. You know the album coming out, and got something to say before the album come out. I'm not supposed to be here. Yeah. I got no apologies for rappers in my DM who wanted a feature, but now they're doing better than Token. A part of me gets jealous for a minute, then I realized I still wouldn't do that feature, cause I kept morals unbroken. Mom found my journal, I wrote about suicide. If I never found music, I would've finished the job. They wonder why I never made those good career moves, cause it's more than a career to me, it's who I am inside. No apologies to the fans that were disappointed in my last album, cause they expected me in my youth. An album about addiction helped me abandon my addictions. I didn't expect to be abandoned by my fans too. Always felt they didn't get the meaning behind the lines, but I hate when rappers explain the meaning. It feels contrived, so I let music be music. Let the guy just be the guy. Just know that I never lied or push my heart off to the side. No apologies to my friends who wish I was a better friend. All of us turning from kids to men. As a man, I've learned to feel what a man.
Well, guys, nothing is new. You didn't miss anything in the past 5 minutes. Hey, where's my stopwatch? S versus J. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. S versus J. How long has it been since I hit the freaking start? Oh, T1000. That's Token is who I was just playing. I dropped his name in chat. You listen to the same type of rap as me. That's what's up. What up, McCoy? Token's dope, dude. Check him out. It's not very kid-friendly, but he makes some good music. He's like, I don't know if you listen to Hobson at all. Like Token, Hobson, Tech 9, those guys all have a similar style. I think I'm gonna give up on this, y'all. I was gonna make a full video overview. I think people would have found it helpful, but I don't feel like waiting for this. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Maybe there's a setting I have to set. Here, let's check real quick. Okay, this action to deploy new analytics rules confirms that rules are deployed, which we confirm the rules. To confirm that threat detection is working based on the recent deploy analytic rules, navigate to the instance display to see what new instance is actually fired up and are ready to be set. Okay. Whoops. Maybe I need to go all the way out. Let's first look at logs. Do we have our logs here? Which, if we go to custom logs and like go to sign in logs. Okay, so I have logs. You guys can see all that. So that's good. The logs are there. If I go to incidents now. Come on. It is what it is. If I click around a little bit, it'll work, but if the logs are there and the rules are there, would that not allow? Oh, here we go. Note, if the incidents haven't showed up after 3 to 5 minutes, editing the alert rules and resaving them without changing any settings will force them to trigger incidents. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Maybe I should just read a little bit further. Steven said I had this problem before. Okay, I didn't have this problem when I first went through this room. Analytics, select rule, edit, review, and create tab. Analytics, select rule, edit. What? Analytics, select rule, edit. Where the frick is edit? Edit. There's no edit button. What are they talking about? I don't see an edit button. Oh, I need to right click it. Gosh, I'm stupid. Let's just do it to each one of these and then we'll check. And if that doesn't work, then I give up. No one gets to hear my thoughts on the path. It doesn't work because it's Microsoft. You're freaking correct. Here, let me see which one I'm going to do. I only need to do... what are our different incidents? I think one that will be a quick, easy one is attempts to sign in disabled accounts. Do we have a... I think we have a rule on that. Let's just grab the rule for that one. Attempts to sign in disabled accounts. This one, go ahead and edit. What up, Brew? What's up with me? I'm just breaking stuff, trying to make a video, but it doesn't work. All right. Yes! I have one incident. That's better than none, right? How come I only have one, though? That was that first one. We're at least, hey guys, we're at least getting somewhere. It's like when you're a sysadmin and you may not have fixed a problem, but you got a different error message. That's what's up. I only activated one rule? What do you mean I only activated one rule? They're all active, right? Or do I need to have them selected? Yeah, so 6 active rules. Gosh, the freak. Hey! We're getting somewhere. I think we have enough information now to record the rest of the video. Just took a little bit of reading. All right, here. We're going to jump to the recording. So Tyler, when you're editing this, you can skip that long us trying to get instances to show up because they're there now. And now we'll dive into it. All right, we have the incidents loaded into Microsoft Sentinel, and I want to show you how to investigate incident number 2, which is attempts to sign into disabled accounts. You can imagine if a threat actor finds a breached database, they may do some password spraying with breached accounts. And if we can get an indication that, hey, someone is trying to sign into disabled accounts, that's something for us as the blue team to really dig down into. So let me show you how this challenge works on TryHackMe. We have a few different questions it's asking. What is the IP involved in the incident? That's always important, although it can be spoofed. What is the IP geolocation of the city? What is a disabled account? And what is the result type filter in the rule? Let's work through just a few of these questions together. I'll jump back over to Microsoft Sentinel, and we're going to click into our incident right here, attempts to sign into disabled account. We'll go ahead and do view full details so we can see all the details, and we'll just see all the information we're able to get out of this. We have this trying to show us the incident thing. We're going to yell it at ourselves. We don't need your help, Microsoft. We have TryHackMe, right? But right away we have a few different things. So we'll go work through this together. We have Can you please stop? I don't need your help. We have the severity of medium. The status, we have unassigned. We could assign that to ourselves because we are working the incident right now. So let's assign that to ourselves. We have the workspace name and a description. So it says it identifies failed attempts assigning to disabled accounts across multiple Azure apps. Default threshold for Azure applications attempted to sign into is 3. We have some references right there. And user account is disabled. The account has been disabled by an administrator. We have some evidence showing any events, alerts, bookmarks, last update time, and we have a couple of entities as well as the tactics and techniques from MITRE, specifically the valid accounts technique for initial access. We also have some entities over here. We have a user account and we have an IP. If we click into the IP, it's going to try to help us again, but we can see some good information here. And let me move my face so I'm not blocking this. I'll move myself up here. But look at this information. I don't know if I zoom out, if it's a little bit easier to see. Yeah, if I zoom out, it's a little bit better. We can see that it's coming from Miami, Florida. We can see the data source coming from security alerts, the first scene and the last scene. And you know what? That actually answers, I believe, our first question. So I'm going to copy that and jump back over to TryHackMe. And it says, what is the IP address involved in this incident? Let's go ahead and drop that there. And it says, what is the city? Well, if my terminal would stop popping up instead of TryHackMe, we can see the city is Miami. So someone in Miami, or someone is using a proxy from Miami, is trying to log into some disabled accounts. And now it's asking us, what exactly is the disabled account? Well, if we click into this right here, we have Marcus at tryhackmelabs.microsoft.com. If we go into the timeline, see if it works for me. We can see the timeline of when it was done, and we have a couple of things here. I click view full details here. We can see a little more information about what is going on. It should pop up insights in a moment, showing things that we could dig down into more if we wanted to really do a full investigation. But for this question, it's just asking what account is trying to be signed into. So let's grab that information and paste that in there, see if that's correct. And it is, and it says result type filter Enroll. Well, let's jump back out to this, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I want to show you all the other things that we can look at here. If we click onto the filter itself, we can see a little more information here, but the cool thing is on this events link, we can actually link to log analytics. So what we're seeing here is kind of an overall overview of the incident, but if we link to log analytics, we can actually see the full logs and why it's triggering on this. So if we jump over to this, it's going to set up a custom query for us. And we can see it right here. We can expand this and we can see a little more information. We have the user principal name. We have the IP address. We have the type. These are the custom logs it's pulling for, the custom log table rather it's pulling from. The application set, so we know it's an Azure portal. So a threat actor or someone was trying to log in as Marcus on the main Azure login portal. We can see the name, the UPN suffix, and we can dig some stuff into here as well if we want to look up more logs. But that's just one helpful trick to know that, hey, if you want to pull up the actual logs, you don't have to come up with a custom query to dive into it. We can pull it up and dive directly into the logs. I'm going to close this out right here. And that gives us a high-level overview. We have incidents or entities again, but we already had that information. What is our final question that we have? Result type filter Enroll. I don't even know what that's asking. Result type filter Enroll. I did this already once. Result type filter? What does that mean? Here, let me jump back out to this. If anyone knows what that means, let me know. Result type filter Enroll. Does it mean the actual analytics rule? If we jump to the analytics rule for that one, and that's attempts to sign into accounts. Result type is right there, 50057. Okay. All right, let's just redo that part. So for the result type filter by rule, that final question over here in TryHackMe, result type filter and rule, we can actually get that by jumping back over to the analytic rule. So if we open back up our Sentinel here, wait for it to load, and go to monitoring. Gosh dang it, this isn't the right thing. This is the log analytics workspace. Let me jump actually to Sentinel. Okay, we'll redo this again. All right, Tyler, this will be a fun video to edit. All right, so for the final question here on TryHackMe, the result type filter and rule, we can get that information by jumping back over to Microsoft Sentinel, but we're going to jump back down to analytics where the analytic rules are set up. And once analytics loads eventually, thank you, Microsoft, we can grab the rule that we're digging into, which is the attempts to sign in disabled accounts, and we can right-click edit on that rule. And we can go over to set the rule logic to see how it's being set, and then we're able to get the event type filter, or the result type right here, 50057. Copy that. Whichever one I was on. I don't know why I closed it out. Wait, what? Here, there we go. I had it open twice, and there we go. Took me just a bit, but we successfully investigated one of these incidents, attempts to sign into disabled accounts. But that gives you a really quick overview of the defending Azure path, and for you to figure out whether or not the path is right for you. What I would say is if you're on the blue team or you work in a SOC and you work with Microsoft products, this is definitely something worth investigating, but maybe one suggestion to save some of the money personally is reach out to your employer. Tell them, hey, on TryHackMe, there is an incredible path all about defending Microsoft Azure. And we can set up a business license, we can have a few seats, and we can take our entire team through this so we can skill up ourselves for knowing how to defend against Azure for attackers. That is honestly what I would recommend. If you're able to do it that way, then this path is definitely worth it. Or if you work in a SOC with Azure products, this is also worth it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this path is worth the price? Or have you gone through the path? And if you have, what are some of the strengths and weaknesses from your perspective? I would love to hear from you. Believe it or not, I do read all the comments on my video. So let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you over in the comment section. Gosh, that was way longer than I was expecting it to take. Always the downside of making videos while live streaming, but you know what? It is what it is. Let me get all this stuff exited out of. $60 40 seconds approximately. Thanks. Yeah, I got to go and edit all that. Matter of fact, while I'm thinking of it, let me get that stuff ready to edit later on. Videos, grab it. Cut, drop to my other hard drive. Maybe. Rename Defending Azure Review. Need to edit a lot. What up, Default Sec? Good to have you here. We just did an overview of TryHackMe's Defending Azure Cloud Path. Wrench says, hello, I am from the future. May 1st. Amazing, dude. How's May treating you? Are tariffs still terrible across the world? Is the United States still making dumb decisions? Has it changed on May 1st? All right. I probably just offended someone with my comments, but I don't care because they're true. Oh, S vs. J is from the future as well. Well, hey, guys. Can you please let me know when the President of the United States is no longer an idiot? I would be happy. If you can live in the future, you let me know when that happens. And I will celebrate on stream. Okay, so this is the machine you guys are wanting me to do. It's rated as hard. Whoops. Why can I not? I can't even grab my face, let alone do a hard machine. So I guess you're not a Trump fan. I've never been a Trump fan. I try not to speak politics, but it is my YouTube channel and I can say what I want. My primary issue with Trump isn't his leadership, isn't his bad math when it comes to tariffs. My primary issue with Donald Trump is he seems like a genuinely terrible person. He's a bully. He name calls like a freaking 5-year-old. And just the way he interacts and treats other people is absolutely despicable. Like, I should not have to tell my kids, please do not follow the behavior of the president of the most powerful country on earth. Like, I should not have to warn my kids about the president's behavior and the way he treats other people. Absolutely ridiculous. That's what I'll say. All right, anyways. Now that that's to the side. What is this room? Find the user flag and then go back to where you began in order to find the root flag. I'm already confused and I haven't started the machine. All right, let me stop sharing just while I get logged into Notion. And guys, I'm not going to solve the machine tonight. I'm probably going to sign off somewhat soon. But what I'll say is we'll do some initial enumeration in this stream and throw our keyboard in the next stream, look up a walkthrough, and then eventually solve it. Now someone will take this clip and make it go viral. Go ahead. I don't even freaking care. I'll just say, for the record, for those of you who do not live in the United States, which I know a lot of you are international and you watch from other countries, let me just speak on behalf of, unfortunately, the minority of the United States during the last election. There's many of us in this country who do not believe in this silly America freaking first, avoid helping other country policy that the current president of our country espouses. Now, the beauty of the United States of America is I can say that kind of thing without being arrested. But just know, who you see in the White House is not a good representation of many of us in this country. Unfortunately, the majority of the country voted for him. So, take that as you will, but I did not. I was not in the majority. All right, Mobius. We're going to make a new page. We don't have much for a description to work on. But we do have an IP. We'll give it just a second to pull up. And I also need to get on the VPN. So, you know what? I think I've actually generated the VPN since I've been on this VM. It's been a long time since I've been on this VM because I made a completely different Kali VM to do the AWS Pentesting course. So let me go ahead and grab my VPN pack real quick. And get connected to the VPN. Now you guys can watch. And just to be clear, if this isn't obvious already, I have not prepped this ahead of time. I literally have no idea what I'm going to encounter on this machine. So we'll see what happens. Open up a new terminal. CD over to TryHackMe. Make dry for Mobius. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this blind. Let's see what happens. Drag this over here. And my buddy 0x Bob did it. He has incredible walkthroughs. If you guys don't follow his walkthroughs, let me pull up his website. Even when I complete a TryHackMe room, I still read his write-ups because he does such a good job at his write-ups. I got to hang out with him at DEF CON. Genuinely nice guy. make sure you follow his write-up page. I guarantee you I'm going to get stuck on this machine and I'll refer back to his write-ups, but we won't do that yet. But here we go. As has been requested by multiple people on Discord, thinking that I am an elite hacker that can just solve these machines, I will show you how unelite I am and how I stumble around just like everybody else. Let me close out Azure. I don't need Azure open anymore. But let's begin. We have an IP address. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my Etsy host file. Etsy host on Linux is what resolves IPs to domain name. So if you think about like your phone book on your phone, if I want to call my buddy Bob, whose blog we just pulled up, I don't need to know his phone number. I just type in Bob and it resolves his name to his phone number. That's what Etsy host does with IP addresses. So we don't need to remember the IP. So we'll do sudo nano Etsy host. You can see my command right there. Enter in our password and we'll jump down to the bottom here. We'll do enter, paste in, not 0x Bob's write up. We need to grab the IP address. Grab the IP, we'll call it mobius.thm, save it, ping, and we can ping it. Beautiful. And what we'll begin first is with the Rust scan just to see what ports are open. So we'll do rust scan-a mobius.thm and then pass that over to nmap. So what this command is doing, I like to use rust scan just because it's easier to remember the syntax. I use nmap and only nmap for a very long time, including when I pass the OSCP. But rust scan is easy to say, hey, do -a, specify our target. And what I like about rust scan is that we can also take any open port it finds and pass it over to nmap, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm telling rust scan, I want you to scan this host, and every open port you find, I want you to pass it over to nmap. And over on nmap, I want you to run it with the -A flag, which means they're all the enumeration scripts added. Let's see what's running on any open port. And you can see right away we have port 22 is open and we have port 80 is open, and now it's running the nmap script right here. Also, I apologize. I meant to turn chat back on the screen. We're not recording now. We're just chilling, hanging out, working on this together. What's your PC specs? I'll have to look those up. I don't even know off the top of my head. I mean, I have like 32 gigs of RAM and stuff, and I have a high-end GPU. And I have like 3 different hard drives. Any recommendations for a PC to mainly run VMs? I'll have to think about that. Not off the top of my head. Oh, Bob was the second one to get it done. Good. Hey, Tyler, hope you got some sleep. I did. Thank you for checking in, Chris. Peace out, Mary Ellen. Our fearless leader. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words. All right, our scan is done, and we don't have much information. Let me jump over to nmap, and we're going to do an H1. We'll call this enumeration, H2. We'll drop our nmap results right here. Also, let's go to make a table of contents as we work through this so we can see it easily. But we have our nmap scans. We just have 2 ports that are open. So let's first begin just by looking real quickly at SSH on port 22. Now, the main thing to check if SSH is open is whether or not it allows password-based authentication. Best practice is to only allow key-based authentication. And so if it allows password-based authentication, we want to keep that in mind so we could do password spraying, or if we find a user account, we can try to reuse their credentials. Super easy to check. We can do SSH as root at mobius.thm. Hit yes. And it does accept password-based authentication. So I want to make note of that in case we find a password. We'll say accepts password-based auth. SSH generally isn't the way in, but we'll want to keep that in mind if we find credentials. And that would be something you report on a pen test too, is like a low finding, because best practices is to only use key-based authentication. All right, let's dig into HTTP. So a few things I like to check anytime there's a web server. We're going to go ahead and run dir search to look for directory brute forcing. We're going to do some vhost fuzzing for any virtual hosts that might be running. We're going to check the source code. And finally, we will look at website features. So we'll get these scans running, then we'll pop open Kaido and start digging into this stuff. Number 1, dir search. Mobius.thm. Rename the tab dir search. vhost. I have a little script I wrote. You can get it from my GitHub. Domain is mobius.thm. User share word list dirbuster directory list 2.3 medium. URL is mobius.thm. FS filter, we don't know what that is. FS is filter by size. We know non-existent vhosts are size 898. So I should turn on numlock. Wow, that really messed it up. I don't even know how I did that. I'm like all the way at a whole different spot. Okay, well, I somehow cleared my history, but 898 is the non-existent FS filter, so let's grab this command, rerun it. Wow, I'm having a tough time. Bruh. There we go. I'm having issues. So that's running. vhost fuzzing is running. We can go ahead and open up Kaido, which I have a feeling I'm going to have to update because it's been a while since I've been on this VM. We'll see if we can just run with what's on Kaido right now. Let's find out. Okay, cool. It works. Let's go to projects. And we will start a new project. Am I blind? Oh, here we go. Create project. Mobius. If you don't know what Kaido is, it's sort of like Burp Suite, but a lot more affordable. Written from the ground up in Rust. We'll go to Intercept, open up the built-in browser, close the extra Kaido tab, and let's check this out. All right, I know I'm missing a lot of stuff in chat. Waiting for the fishing course. It's coming, my friend. It's coming. I just finished the AWS course. You got to give me a break. 2 to 3 gigabytes of RAM. No, I have way more than that. I have 32 gigs of RAM in my computer. And like this virtual machine right here, I have 16 gigs of RAM assigned to it. I know HTTP is easier, but how much harder is when it's HTTPS? It's not harder. Same enumeration. My parent OS and VM has 4 gig of RAM, but it gets stuck if I do too much. Yeah, so I have 16 gigs of RAM that I give to this VM that we're on right now. But like the other thing that makes it tougher for me, guys, is like I have it tougher for me. It's pulled up and I'm streaming and sometimes recording. Like my computer's doing a lot of stuff when I'm hanging out with you all. What is this freaking light mode BS? Like my first feedback to the room is, why couldn't you do dark mode? You're going to make my eyes bleed. Okay, we have some things here. I'm going to grab these results real quick and drop it into here. What I want to dig into is this image.php. Because that has a 200 hit. vhost fuzzing is still doing its thing. I bet it's not going to find any vhost, but it's always worth at least trying. Now let's look at the website itself. We have cat pictures. I don't see any cats. If we look at page source, we have a link to an external CSS file. And then we have a PHP based on tags. That might be able to be exploited. Almost makes me think of LFI. Oh, a hacking attempt? No. Your mom's a hacking attempt. Let's wonder if we here, let me try something. Okay, so does that give me hacking attempt? All right, what if I URL encode this? Okay, we still get hacking attempt. What if I double URL encode it? Ooh. That's a SQL error. Okay. So the reason I say that, we did this weird payload right here. I was looking for LFI or local file inclusion. But look at this. We have this error right here that specifically talks about SQL and MariaDB. That's very useful information for our enumeration. It seems the album.php is vulnerable to SQL injection. There is some type of WAF that detects hacking attempts. Whatever that means. Dark Reader extension? Yeah, I don't have it. I'm using the built-in Kaido browser. I don't have dark mode extension on there. Okay, so then one question is, what's an easier way to trigger this error? If I do a single comma, yeah, so that's a good sign. And I bet if I do this, it fixes it. No, it doesn't fix it, but I still get that. So we know it's vulnerable to some type of SQL injection. Let's go ahead and pull this back right here. Cute, I think, was the original one. Oh, now we have a hash and a full image path. Okay, there's a lot of interesting things going on here. I don't fully understand what they'll be used for. I'm going to stop the vhost fuzzer. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably good. We're going to... How did I end up in this directory? We're going to drop in our full request right here. And then we're going to YOLO it with SQL map. And let's see. Oh, yeah, it already detected that the backend's MySQL. Hey, brothers. I am new. Tell me, what is the content of this live stream and what is Mr. Chow teaching about? The content of my live stream is ethical hacking. Right now, we're working through a challenge machine on TryHackMe, which is like vulnerable labs that emulate real-world environments so we can hack stuff without going to prison. Oh, here we go. Beautiful. You're right. I did say MariahDB, and it discovered MySQL. Who cares? It's working. All right, so we have detected this with SQL map. Let's add that to our notes. Let's make a new H3. Discovered with manual payload, able to automate the exploit. All right, now it's been a little bit since I've used SQL map. So I need to remember the syntax here for SQL map. Actually, this is helpful. Okay, so if we just look at help, retrieve current user, enumerate users, password hashes, enumerate databases. Let's first enumerate databases. Okay, so we have two databases, information schema and web name. Let's grab that to our notes. All right, and information schema is like a general database that's not going to be super helpful for us, but the web one might be. And I think to do this, we want to specify our database with capital D for web, and then we want to see what tables are in that database. Oh, we just have albums and images? So we don't have any passwords or anything like that. So if we're going to do table for, I'll just say albums and dump, what do we get? So we just get a bunch of silly cat stuff. Okay, I mean, I don't know how helpful that is. What was the other table? Images. That's true. I could do dump all. I've had issues in the past doing that when it's too big of a database and it... Oh. There we go. It's too big of a database and just takes too long. So I've learned just to manually do it. So interesting. Images are just the full file paths. So we have confirmed SQL injection. What if we do like... current user's web something. This isn't going to work, but YOLO. Okay, well, it was worth trying. Can you write the images or do LFA? I have no idea. We're just starting. I'm actually surprised I discovered this so quickly. I was looking for LFA and I discovered SQL injection. So that's cool. I haven't even really used the website myself. So if I click into here, it does this. And the way it loads images is via hash. Oh, interesting. So it passes it some type of hash. So just hashing the image, and then it provides a path parameter. Isn't that interesting? This is the path when opening an image. This is an odd path. I don't even really know what to think of that, to be honest. And we have also some PHP version. I doubt that's going to be exploitable, but Apache version as well. And here's the thing I was saying before, for those of you who are here, during an actual pen test, you would report these as informationals or low findings. Like you would add this to your report, which is probably worth at least adding to our notes that we have version information. I'm thinking we could add it at the top. That's something we could always come back to if we get stuck. So just like, let's see. Is it just a hash? What was the image name? cat2.jpg. Well, that would hash the file. Is it just the image name? I don't know. Would be worthwhile to see if you can do file read via the database to see how the hashing is done. This is true. Well, guys, I did say, so I need to edit that video. And I did say I was just going to do enumeration tonight. I think I'm actually going to call it a night because I still have to spend quite a bit of time editing that first video that we shot. But, I mean, our little bit of time, we were able to cover a lot of things. Like, I don't think I've been looking at this machine too long, but we found SQL injection. And now we're looking for LFI. And I think some things to dig into. How is hashing done? Okay, there's the things to dig into. It's probably the most important one right there. But so far, pretty cool. Yeah, good idea. Let me add that. Let me give credit to RX for that. All right, cool. I don't know what that is. The Paha... What? I'm sorry, I have to read into this. Let's see if we can find someone to raid, guys. If you are not watching on Twitch, come watch on Twitch to be part of the raid. It looks like we have 27 people on YouTube, 25 people on Twitch, and I can't see the LinkedIn numbers, but over 50 people across the different platforms. Guys, come join Twitch. Even if you don't have a Twitch account, you can still be part of the raid. When we raid, it just means we take all of our viewers and send them to another person. Our raid phrase is going to be hack smarter, not harder. Let me open up Twitch and get this raid ready to go. And see who's streaming as well. Oh, we got Jex streaming. We have the Shy Hat and Jex. Well, I raided the Shy Hat last time. Let's raid Jex. Jex is he's on staff at Hack the Box. Really cool, nice dude. Let's set up that raid for him real quick. Make sure you follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff when we set it up. Let me get that going. All right, raid is set up. Come join the raid, y'all. I'll hang out in that chat for a little bit. Remember, when we join, everyone say in chat, hack smarter, not harder. But thank you, everybody, for taking the time to hang out with me.